This video is going to show you how to integrate Google Meet for all those synchronous meetings with your students directly into your Google Classroom. Now, for me, I find this is the safest, most secure way and the easiest way for students to get into your meeting and for you to start a meeting with a bunch of security features that are really important as a teacher. So we're going to start right from scratch. So here is a classroom I just created. You're going to notice there's not even a link code created yet. So let's go create that code first. I'm going to go up to the top to the gear cog where my settings are. And I'm going to scroll down until I see the Meet symbol, and here it says Generate Meet Link. So when I click on that, my class now has a Meet link, and you're going to have a choice now whether you want the students to see this link or not. So you can make it visible to students or turn it off. It's totally up to you. Just remember that students can't enter the Meet without a teacher in there, so it's okay if you want to leave this on. We're going to go click Save. And there's my meeting link right up there. So right away, I want to show you what this looks like from the student point of view. So I'm going to flip over to the student. As a student page, you can see here's that meeting link right there. So, as a student, if I go in and I click on it, here's what I get. I can't start or create a meeting for myself. Now remember, these students are signed in under DSBN, under the org account, so they can't get in there no matter what you do. You can try returning the home screen, but that's just going to take you back here, and they can't start their meetings from here either. Let's flip back to the teacher view. So you can access Meet two different ways. One, through the banner right up here, but if you go over to classwork, you're going to notice that it's also up here. So if I click that meeting link, it's going to take me right to Google Meet. And here's the difference between Google Classroom, Google Meet, and just making a nickname. Typically, this code right here, this is the code that you get for every meeting, but if you don't use it, it eventually expires. The greatest thing is with the integration into Classroom, that code will never expire. So you don't have to worry about adding nicknames, you don't have to worry about copying new code and sending it out. That will always work just as it is. And then we're ready to join the meeting, and the meeting will start. Let's go into this one. And now I'm just going to flip over to the student account, and I'm going to have them click on the same banner link. And for this one, I'll leave the camera on so you can see. So that when you see my picture, that is the student. All right, so let's flip back to the teacher. So down below this picture here, that is the student, and this is me as the teacher up here. Now, the one thing you want to do for every Google Meet, whether it's nickname or Google Classroom, you must be the one to leave last. So you have to get all your students to exit the meeting so you can close the meeting without students jumping back in. Now, just so you know, there is like a 20-second lag. So, if you exit, you leave, there's still that 20-second window where people can hop back in. So just be aware of that. You might have to go back in later or just wait a little bit and check later. Now, if you have a student that doesn't want to leave, the simple thing to do is you go up to the people icon. And if I go over by the student, notice the three little dots are there, and I can simply remove that person from the meeting. So when I click remove, it's going to remove them. Now, here's the thing. Remember, because I'm using Google Classroom, they're not going to be able to rejoin the same meeting. Because Google Classroom saves that specific code, that means they can't get in here, and we're going to have to add them manually again. So if I remove them, so there you go, they're gone. Let's go back over to the student one. They've been ejected. So let's click on their Google Classroom. They click on that banner. They can't join this video call because they were basically physically removed from the classroom. As a teacher, you're going to have to go back to yours, and then you're going to have to go add those people manually. So you can go add that test student again, just right in there, and then they'll be allowed to go to that meeting again. So even if I hit send email, regardless of email, if they go back into their Google Classroom, hit that banner link, they'll now be allowed to join that meeting again. So you can see it's the exact same code, but if you remove them, it takes that code away from them, so you have to put them back in. So that's a nice safety feature. And the other final safety feature, if you really want, let's go back to my teacher page. If you feel like the link has gotten out somehow or there's been a glitch, all you have to do really simply, go back to your settings up here, scroll back down, and you have a couple options. Number one, you can make this non-visible, but the other thing is you can reset this code. So if I reset it, now it's a brand new code. The good news is it actually doesn't even affect the students because the banner link will change. It's just up there now as that, but just means those old meetings can't be gotten into again, and you'll be fine. It's just that little key security thing I do once in a while. I'll hit resave. if I'm having those students that like to, be the little hackers and try and figure out some different ways and affect some of the loops they might find. So that's how you use Google Meet in Google Classroom. Happy meeting.